So it's funny because all of that started kind of as a side gig back in quarantine.
Mm-hmm.
I, yeah, I don't know. I think I wanted to find new creative ways to work online.
Mm-hmm.
I've been living nomadic for a couple years now, so I always like to find different ways, not just for myself, but to share with other people. Because, as you know, when you travel, a lot of people ask you, "Oh, how are you doing it? How can I do
Mm-hmm.
it?" And I never wanted to come across as bragging about all the experiences that I was having. Rather, I wanted to share with people how they could create something similar for themselves, find their own formula. So I did a couple courses on branding and social media strategy, mostly to build my own brand. And it became kind of a side gig. I started doing it for a couple people, and I started noticing a pattern. And the pattern was the people that were reaching out to me were guides or teachers or healers in the wellness and spirituality niche. And it's an area that I'm super passionate and knowledgeable on. And it's been a beautiful journey because it's about seeing the potential in these healers and guides and teachers and activating something within them so that they feel comfortable bringing their offerings to the world and then changing the lives or of their whole community. So it's like a ripple effect. You're
Mm.
not changing one person, you're activating them and their communities.
Oh, wait, how does this work? I want to know more.
It's taken some time to structure what I'm doing. So the jewelry line is one thing, but I'm focusing a lot of energy on this right now. And I'm working on creating a course out of it, more like a self-paced thing.
Mm-hmm.
I've always been a big fan of DIYing, and it's basically a collection of different skills that I've acquired throughout the years and putting them together into a very useful incubator for people that want to be guides. So it starts by, I call it seeing your fire and helping you ignite it.
Mm.
So also soul aligning. So making sure that you're creating from a place of integrity and creating something that will support all the other areas of your life instead of competing with them. The second step in my process is to guide you to connect to your ideal client avatar, who you're serving. Then product creation. So I came up with this really cool process to create ebooks or courses or even products. A lot of people have been coming to me to create a jewelry line.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm facilitating that in becoming like a white labeling partner for them. So I have my jewelry brand, but I also create products for other people, not under my brand.
Mm-hmm.
And then once we have the product, packaging of the product. So packaging is the branding aspect. Finding your mood board, finding your inspiration, finding your color palette, your aesthetic, and then based on that, building an Instagram aesthetic because that's how you deliver your product. So that's what I'm working on, and it's
Nice.
beautiful.
Yeah, I remember we talked about like branding, and you were showing me the way you create a branding package and vision boards, and how important it is for brands when you're creating your own brand. And a lot of people are starting to create their own individual brand or them package themselves as a brand. So before you start, you should always have what is it, the board or the package where you have your colors and your style and your fonts. What's that called?
I call that a brand book.
A brand book.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, a brand book where, if you want to go to a photographer, for example, and or even a graphic designer, and you say, hey, I want some designs done for my brand, and you go to a graphic designer, and they're like, okay, I can make it for you, but then they don't know what your style is, right? They don't know what kind
Mm-hmm.
of colors you want, and you want it to be
Mm-hmm.
consistent with your brand. So, what fonts are you using? What color palettes are you using? What kind of backgrounds and colors and tones, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that's so important. A lot of people don't realize that when they're reaching out to photographers or graphic designers or web designers, and then they come back they go and a designer will come and bring them the product. They're like, this is not what I asked for. It's like, yeah, because you didn't have a brand book.
Yeah, it's funny. I didn't even understand the importance of it until I started learning from it and creating my own for my projects and then creating them for other people's projects. And it's beautiful because it becomes like a manual or like a blueprint.
Blueprint, I like
So
that.
that, let's say that you're running a one-man show, and I'm the expert of this. I've been doing it for so long, but it's eventually, as a business grows, you will hire people. You will hire maybe an assistant or a social media manager or a graphic designer or a copywriter. And the whole idea behind the brand book is to become for it to be your guide that you can share with anyone that hops on your team or anyone that you want to collaborate with, so that they understand what you're about.